Good evening and welcome to the February 18th, 2025 meeting of the Frankfort Village Board. I call this meeting to order and I will ask our clerk, Katie Schubert, to take the roll, please.
Mayor Ogle?
Here.
Trustee Borelli?
Here.
Trustee Ledden?
Here.
Trustee Petro?
Here.
Trustee Rigoni?
Here.
Trustee Rossi?
Here.
Trustee Savaria?
Here.
Clerk Schubert is here. Attorney Lamore?
Present.
Police Chief Chalepis?
Here.
Village Administrator Pisha?
Here.
Assistant Administrator Barika?
Present.
We have quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, clerk. If everyone would please stand with me, remove your hats, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on here is what's called the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature, and they are enacted in one single motion. There's no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Is there anyone on the board that would like to remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, can I get a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Savaria, second by Trustee Rigoni. We will go through these items so that those who are in the audience know what the village board is voting on. There is a complete packet that's at our website at frankfortil.org under the government area with agendas. So the first item that we had on the consent agenda was the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on February 3rd of 2025. And now we will go to the approval of the bills. We will go to Trustee Petra.
Thank you. Tonight, we have 3 disbursements from the General Corporate Fund in the amount of $308,986.33. From the Capital Development Fund, $224,062.81. From the Sewer and Water Operation and Maintenance Fund, $111,076.16, for a total disbursement of $644,125.30. Notable expense on this bill period is D&J Landscape in the amount of $182,088.74 for the Prairie Park Playground improvements. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We have a couple items from the Committee of the Whole, and for the first one, we will go to Trustee Savaria.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first item on here is the Prairie Park Multi-Use Path Rehabilitation Grant Expenditure Approval Bid Award Resolution. The Village of Frankfort sought bids from qualified contractors to resurface the multi-use around Prairie Park. This project is part of a broader initiative funded by a $600,000 grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity aimed at enhancing Prairie Park, which also included a now completed playground renovation. At its February 12, 2025 meeting, the Committee of the Whole reviewed 5 proposals submitted for project, and it was a consensus of the committee to forward recommendation to the village board to accept a low bid and award the contract to Iroquois Paving Corp. In the amount of $124,695.25. The motion before us is accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole and adopt a resolution authorizing a contract between the Village of Frankfort and Iroquois Paving Corp. For the Prairie Park Multi-Use Path Rehabilitation White Street and Bowen Street in the amount of $124,695.25 to be reimbursed through the DCEO grant.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee. Next item on here, we will go to Trustee Borelli.
Thank you. The next item is the Key Code Media Agreement, Village Boardroom Control Updates Resolution. At the February 12th meeting, the Committee of the Whole considered a request to enter into an agreement with Key Code Media for audiovisual control upgrades in the Village Boardroom. The system will enhance functionality by allowing seamless operation of the projection screen, projector, video sources, and audio controls. The agreement, valued at $19,887, includes hardware installation and user training. It was a consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to approve the agreement, and the motion before us tonight is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Frankfort and Key Code Media for village boardroom control upgrades in the amount of $19,887.00.
All right, thank you. Next item, trustee Rigoni.
Thanks, Mayor. UrbanCom.net Communication Facility Sublease Agreement Granary Tower Resolution. The Village and UrbanCom.net, a high-speed wireless provider, desired to renew their sublease agreement for the space at the Granary Tower in exchange for advanced telecommunications services provided to the village. The proposed agreement has a 5-year term with an option to renew for an additional 5 years. At its February 12, 2025 meeting, the Committee of the Whole reviewed the agreement and forwarded a recommendation to the Village Board to approve the sublease agreement. The motion before us is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a communication facility sublease agreement between the Village of Frankfort and UrbanCom.net Wireless LLC for the use of the Granary Tower at 24 Elwood Street to house wireless communication equipment.
All right, thank you. Next item, we go to trustee Ledden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this item is the Veterans Energy Team EV Chargers Resolution. At its February 12, 2025 meeting, the Committee of the Whole reviewed a proposal to purchase and install electric vehicle chargers in the new Smith Street and White Street parking lots, along with the replacement of the existing charger at the Brighter Green parking lot. This initiative leverages a ComEd grant providing over $53,000 in funding, reducing the village's cost from $72,734 to $19,404. The project would be completed by Veterans Energy Team, a ComEd EV service provider, in partnership with Excel Electric for installation. The installation of the EV chargers aligns with the village's infrastructure improvement plan and enhances accessibility for residents and visitors who utilize electric vehicles. It was the consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board approving the purchase and installation of EV chargers as presented. The motion before us this evening is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Veterans Energy Team in partnership with Excel Electric for the purchase and installation of EV chargers at the new parking lots on Smith and White Streets and the replacement of the existing EV charger at the Brighter Green parking lot. And the village further authorizes the use of the ComEd grant funding to offset the project's cost, reducing the village's financial obligation to $19,404. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we have a couple items from the Plan Commission, and we'll go, first one will go to trustee Petro. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan, I missed you. We had that last item on there. Reagan Communications, trustee Rossi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Reagan Communications Mobile Radios Resolution. At its February 12, 2025 meeting, the Committee of the Whole reviewed a request to purchase 6 Kenwood VM7000 series mobile radios for the police department to replace aging units that are failing. The purchase follows a previous acquisition of 10 units through a multi-agency grant. The expenditure was anticipated in the current budget and will be made through Reagan Communications under competitive bid pricing. Each radio costs $5,400 plus shipping, with a total purchase not to exceed $33,000. It was the consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to authorize the purchase of mobile radios. The motion before us: accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole, adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase on behalf of the Village of Frankfort, 6 Kenwood VM7000 series mobile radios from Reagan Communications at a total cost not to exceed $33,000. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, trustee Rossi. Now we will go to the Plan Commission report summaries. And the first item, trustee Petro.
Thank you. First item is applicant Megan Oberture requests the granting of a special use for the personal service to permit the operation of Self Aesthetic and Wellness, a med spa located at 9875 West Lincoln Highway, Unit 103, within the B4 Office District. At the January 23, 2025 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded a unanimous 4-0 recommendation to the Village Board to grant the special use request. The motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a special use permit for personal service to the property located at 9875 West Lincoln Highway, Unit 103, to accommodate the operation of Self Aesthetic and Wellness in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and findings of fact.
All right, thank you. Next item, we will go to trustee Savaria.
Next item is the Great American Bagel Building Materials and Trash Enclosure Setback Variance at 9326 West Corsair Road. The Great American Bagel, operating at 9326 West Corsair Road within the I-1 Limited Industrial District, plans to expand its facility by adding a 1,440 square foot and 575 square foot building freezer addition to the rear of the existing structure and to add parking spaces on the existing site. The applicant seeks a variance to allow pre-engineered metal siding on both freezer additions and to reduce the required trash enclosure setback from 10 feet to 5 feet for the property located at 9326 West Corsair Road. At its January 23, 2025 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded 2 unanimous 4-0 recommendations to the Village Board to approve the requested variations. The motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission's recommendation, waive the first and second reading, and pass an ordinance granting 2 zoning variances to permit pre-engineered metal siding on the 2 freezer additions and to reduce the required trash enclosure setback from 10 feet to 5 feet in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and findings of fact, conditioned upon final engineering approval. Thank you.
Thank you. And then our final Plan Commission item, we'll go to trustee Rossi.
McCullough Rental Special Use Permit for Large Equipment Rental, Sales, and Service, 21730 South LaGrange Road. Applicant Steve McCullough proposes relocating his existing large equipment rental and sales business from its current location in Indiana to the village of Frankfort. The applicant requests the granting of a special use permit for large equipment rental, sales, and service to the property located at 21730 South LaGrange Road, the former site of Timberview RV Center, to accommodate the operation of McCullough Kabuta in the I-1 Limited Industrial District. At its December 12, 2024 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded a unanimous 6-0 recommendation to the Village Board to grant the special use request. The motion before us: accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a special use permit for large equipment rental, sales, and service to the property located at 21730 South LaGrange Road to accommodate the operation of McCullough Kabuta in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and findings of fact, and subject to the following conditions: removal of gravel and replacement with pavement within 24 months from the date of Village Board approval, no outdoor loudspeakers, all service and repair of vehicles and equipment shall occur indoors, and shut-off times on 2 westernmost light poles with a shut-off time of 9 p.m.
All right. Thank you, trustee Rossi. Those are all the items for the consent agenda. We have a motion and a second already, and we will go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the vote.
Trustee Savaria?
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni?
Yes.
Trustee Petro? Yes. Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi? Yes. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. The next item on here is what's called the mayor's report. We have a Coffee with a Cop event, which is scheduled for Thursday, February 20th, from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Grounded Coffee, which is at 19 Ash Street in downtown Frankfort. Join members of the Frankfort Police Department for a cup of coffee and conversation. This is a great opportunity to meet the men and women who serve the Frankfort community. Unfortunately, Pax will not be there just yet. He'll be coming soon. He's in training at the moment. We have applications also that are being accepted for the Citizens Police Academy, and that's set to begin on Thursday, March 20th. It's from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It'll be at the Will County Sheriff's Office Building, 16911 West Laraway Road, and that's in Joliet. This free 10-week program offers community members an inside look at law enforcement operations and procedures. Sign up today, please, because the space is limited. Contact Officer Michael Pizzera at mpizzera@frankfortil.org, and that is on our website in case you're wondering here, for additional information and applications. We're very excited about, we've received an award for a Public Works Project of the Year. The Pfeiffer Road Extension, which was completed in July, has been recognized by the American Public Works Association, the Chicago Metro chapter. This project was awarded the Public Works Project of the Year in the transportation category in projects under $5 million. We're very excited. This extension is part of our comprehensive plan as well. Back in 2017, 2018, we went out to the community, focus groups, asked them about their vision for Frankfort through the year 2040. Actually, I think it's called Your Frankfort through 2040. And this is a key component in developing that Route 30 corridor. And we're very excited about it. This achievement was made possible through the collaboration of Robinson Engineering, LLC, which served as the project engineer, and Austin Tyler Construction, which managed the roadway installation. Robinson Engineering submitted the project for consideration, and after a thorough review, it was selected for this prestigious honor. A special thanks goes out to everyone who's involved in bringing this project to life. Your dedication and hard work have made a lasting impact on your community, and people tell me all the time how much they love Pfeiffer Road, the extension, and sometimes they go out of their way just to ride on it. And I'd also like to thank our board for their support in this project so that this move forward. That is all I have tonight on the mayor's report, and we will go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for board comments.
Just reminders, our next village board meeting will be Monday, March 3rd, here at Village Hall at 7 p.m. Our next committee of the whole meeting is Wednesday, March 13th at 5:30. And our consolidated election early voting will begin here at Village Hall March 17th, with the election day being April 1st. If you want more information on elections and on other voting locations, visit willcountyclerk.gov. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Trustee Ledden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to express my congratulations to Robinson Engineering, Austin Tyler, and the village, of course, for all the efforts in making Pfeiffer Road a reality. It's such an important road for connection in the village, and it couldn't have turned out more beautifully. So congratulations on winning the Project of the Year award, and that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Trustee Savari.
I would just say ditto on that.
Trustee Rigoni.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I would like to welcome Makala Kabuta, as well as Self Aesthetics and Wellness. As I say, you have every opportunity to choose a community, and you chose Frankfort, so I would like to thank you. I also like to congratulate Great American Bagel on an expansion. It's always exciting when a business decides to expand and stay in our community as well. I'd like to shout out to Public Works for their hard work over the last couple of weeks. We've had some great snow. While we were busy sleeping, they were busy plowing, so I'd like to thank them. As well as also acknowledge that a number of our items on the agenda were funded through grants or partially through grants. So I would like to extend a thank you to our staff as well as this village board for continuing to look at different ways of funding for some great projects that we have. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Petra.
Thank you. Congratulations to staff, Robinson, everyone on this Pfeiffer Road extension. It is very exciting to have that award. And I know I often go out of my way just to drive on it because it is so beautiful. It is freezing outside and the weather temperature does not look like it's getting warm. So just a reminder to any of the residents that the Village Hall is still a warming center from 8 to 5, as well as the Township building from 8 to 4. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, and very exciting news about Pfeiffer Road, but not surprising on the nomination. So I have friends that I grew up with in the area, and I'm still friends with for some reason, and they like to give me a hard time about Frankfort because I think they're just jealous of it. They don't live here anymore. But even they, the other day, were like, they were in town, and one of them drove down Pfeiffer Road. They're like, well, you got that one right. So that speaks volumes. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Did they tease you about your fancy Frankfurt shoes?
They do
Yes,
tease me
yes,
about
I heard
that.
that.
Absolutely.
I think I know some of these people too, so. But thank you, Adam. And Trustee Rossi.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to reiterate, the Coffee with a Cop is such a great thing. I think I've attended just about every one they've had since Chief Jalopis reinstated those. And to watch the citizens interacting with our police officers, showing their appreciation to them is just a great thing, and I hope we continue them for a long time.
Thank you, Trustee Rossi. Do we have any other business for the board tonight? Okay. And now we're at the point of the meeting called public comment. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment before the board tonight? Okay. Mark, coming up, tell us who you are.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Mark Sheldon. I'm the Vice President for Government Relations for Pavlov Media. We are a high-speed fiber internet company based out of Champaign. We've been around for 30 years. We started U of I student, Mark Cyphers, figured out how to wire his off-campus student housing building when he was in college, and it worked so well. He went to another building, and at this point, we are the #1 provider of internet to off-campus student housing in America. We're in 150 cities, 1,000 buildings. But about 8 years ago, we started doing fiber to the home. The first place we picked was Monticello, which is just to the west of Champaign. That worked really well, and we've just continued to grow and grow. So of late, we have crews working in the Waco area, the Dallas area, Gainesville area, and then throughout East Central Illinois. So currently, our biggest activity, and we have a combination of our own crews and crews in contractors, but we are in Bradley, Bourbonnais, Manteno, and Peatone, and we've started lighting up customers already in Bradley and Bourbonnais, and very shortly we hope to almost done constructing, but we have to get our head in electronics set in Peatone and Manteno. So it's going really well. We're going to be submitting permits in the next week into Moni, and this is just a natural place for us to grow to. So we identified this area really in the southern Will County area as being really underserved. So we are a fiber internet company. That means we provide speeds up to 8 gigabits per second. So a DSL line might be 100 megabits if you're lucky. Cable really maxes out at 1,200 megabits per second. On the download, on the upload, they typically do about 35 megabits. So as we start to talk about streaming video out, as you're doing Zoom calls, as all of your appliances and all these other things are talking to the internet, it's important to have upload speeds that are faster, and that's what citizens are asking for now. So we do that. We have, literally 8 gigabits of upload speed if you need it. Our typical speed is 1 gigabit, and we have very low latency. Latency is the time it takes for your message from your computer to get to a network operations center. Because we have network operations center both in Chicago and in Champaign, that means your latency is really low. If you're a gamer, I don't know who's a gamer here and you like shoot 'em up games, then you're going to be really happy because it's really fast. So one of the things that I really like to emphasize, because we do want to begin this permitting process. We're really excited about making and building out the entirety of Frankfort. I started driving around here in the last few months and really loving it. I didn't end up on this wonderful new road, so should I exit that way as I leave town? Okay, so I'll look it up. But you've got a wonderful town here. But we want to be part of bringing high-speed internet, which improves the quality of life for your residents, but we also want to do it in a responsible way. So I really want to emphasize that when you get a moment to turn to the middle of this on page 5 and our safe and responsible construction processes, which we put safety first, safety of our own crews, safety of your public works people, safety of your residents first. Always, we're doing all the right locates, we're doing everything, making sure we put up cones, everyone's got their vests on. But then the other more as important, I guess, is when there are problems, we're here to solve those problems right away and be in touch with all of your people so that when something happens and somebody hits something during a construction process, that we've got all the contact information, we can get things fixed. And then cleaning up everything afterwards. So it is a big project. There's going to be holes in the ground. There's going to be a need to put grass seed and get that all fixed up, and that's something that we will do and do well. The fiber optic network will be underground. So it is the only part of the network that is above ground is a cabinet somewhere in town. We're looking for a location. We'd love to work with your city about the village to maybe find a location, but there will be a cabinet about the size of a couple file cabinets, about that high. That'll be the only thing that's underground or above ground. Everything else, the vaults, will be level with the ground. You'll be able to ride your lawnmower over it or your push mower over it. And so it's very unobtrusive. It won't be any of those pedestals that you see, the steel things that seem to be falling all the time. So after it's done, it's going to be really, quite frankly, it's a different company, but I don't even notice the vault in the front of my house. But we will go in front of every home and business in the community. And, typically our internet has been running at $60 and $70. It kind of depends on a variety of things, including competitions and construction costs. We're just, I'm here to introduce myself. We're excited about hopefully starting a good, solid, and, your ordinance, I don't know if you're aware of this, but somewhere down the road, maybe it happened very recently, but the Illinois Municipal League came up with a model right-of-way ordinance about 15 years ago. And we have seen it adopted in a lot of Kankakee and Will County areas. So actually the 4 cities I just named actually use that ordinance. And so it's got a couple extra hoops for us to go through, all very reasonable, and we're now experienced at it, so we're really happy to, accommodate all of that, but we're very experienced with, working on that type of ordinance, and so we feel like we'll be able to have a really good process. We also, the number one thing we do, we're gonna get that permit in, we're going to start that process, but it will be talking with your public works people, because even when we're going to walk through the town and try to figure out the best paths and do all the things we do, nothing beats the people who have been experienced in taking care of your right-of-ways for some of them decades, and making sure we're working with them to have a process that works safely, well, with the least amount of inconvenience for people. So that's my introduction, and we will remain in touch.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. And your information, all the board members have that, as well as staff, too.
Yes.
So, all right, thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a public comment before the board tonight? Hearing none, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn? We have a motion by trustee Borelli, second by trustee Savaria. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.